Hi everyone, and welcome to Power Plays. I'm Harry, and today we're going to be doing something a bit different. A lot of you have been asking, why do I train my staff the way I train it? I've been getting a few messages in Discord, some comments on the videos, and there's been quite a few questions in the Reddit channels, the two multiple Reddit, as to why staff are trained, why they are. So I'm here to address all the stats behind it, why I personally recommend how I train my staff, and hopefully clear things up a bit. So I'm going to jump into Chasm 24. But before we get started, do make sure you subscribe to... Ooh, there's this chaos in this hospital. Maybe I shouldn't have jumped into here, but I like it. It's a cool looking hospital. So do make sure you subscribe to the channel. This is going to be really useful. And you'll be able to check out other videos that are also really useful. So yeah, do make sure you subscribe to the channel, keep liking the videos, and comment down below. How do you train your staff? I'm interested to know. So, let's find a patient. There we go. So we got a patient over here. Oh, you know what? I forgot that I've got things over here. Let's find this patient. So, we have Colton Woodwind. He needs to go to the resolution lab. He has 8 bitten. Before we kind of go into how we train the staff, it's important to understand a few menus. So when you click on the patient, you're going to see your estimated chance of cure. Now, this is filled by 4 different bars: your illness difficulty, your diagnosis certainty, your staff skill, and your upgrades. And it's important we understand each one of these bars to make the final decision on why we train people, how we train them. This is an interesting... Oh, it's a robot. I was wondering why. It's a robo janitor. If you haven't already done this level, do check it out. The robo janitors are really cool and really fun. And it's a good unlock to make the rest of the game easier. So, illness difficulty, straightforward. The harder the illness is, the harder it's going to be to cure them. Diagnosis certainty. It's an interesting one. So early game, when I set my diagnosis certainty in policy and the diagnosis threshold for treatment, I'm usually around 80 to 85%. Because what this acts as, it acts as a cap. Acts as a cap to how high your estimated chance of cure is going to be. Why has the music stopped? There we go. Music stopped. So yeah, it acts as a cap. So early on, what I do is I personally have it at about 80 to 85%. And that's just to allow some autonomy and speed things up in my hospital. I know my diagnosis staff aren't going to be as great. So it's going to be really hard for them to get to 100%. They'll be going GP office to psychiatry to GP office to ward back to GP office, and they probably still won't have 100%, and I'll have to push them through manually. And that's just going to take time. It's going to be a pain. So I bring it down to 80%. What this then means is the maximum estimated chance of cure is going to be 80%. And that's just something that we've got to live on and gamble by. Because if they're taking so long to get diagnosed, the happiness is going to go down. They're going to be less likely to pay the higher prices, which you know that I do. And that's why I make so much money in these hospitals. So diagnosis certainty, I usually have it about 80 to 80, well, sorry, diagnosis threshold, usually have about 80 to 85% until late game when I bump it up to 100%, because you might as well, you're going to be getting that diagnosis in, so might as well have it at 100%. We then have upgrades, and upgrades is really interesting because it's actually split between 2 things, and your upgrades can be above 100% here. And it's split between 2 things, right? It is split between your machine, and it's split between your upgrades that you have in the room. And with upgrades, for some reason, what they do is 50% of your score comes from here, comes from the machines, and 50% comes from the upgrades you have in the room. You can see this room, I haven't got any upgrades, but say if I went over here, you can see I've got some upgrades in the room by these medicine cabinets. Now, what happens is that each one of those stats gets multiplied by 2. So if you have a level 1 machine in a room, you're actually only going to well, you're going to get a 0% bonus from it, a 0%, which isn't great. If you have a level 2 machine in there, it's going to give you a 25% bonus. But because it gets times by 2, it turns into a 50% bonus. And here we've got a level 3 machine, which gives you a 50% bonus. Times by 2 equals 100, which is why we've got 100 here. Now, it would be great if I could find another one. Alright, we got another patient here, a very unhappy patient. They're about to leave, it's not going well. But our upgrades are 30%. We have no machine we can upgrade here, but what we do have is we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 medicine cabinets, one wall monitor and another wall monitor. So that gives us 15. That's 15 different upgrades. Now the wall monitor gives us 1%, and so does the medicine cabinet gives us 1%. So that equals 15% in total. You times that by 2, as I said before, and that brings us to our 30%. So that's how the upgrades work. So you can see in the ward, these are diagnosis people. Yeah, they're all diagnosis people, so that's not going to help. But anyone here, they'd be at 100% because there's a 50% from the machine times 2. Are you coming in? Yes, so you can see upgrades, 142%. Because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So, times that by 2 equals 44%. Oh, no, 42%. Where did I get 44%? 42%. Plus we've got our machine at level 3, which is 50% times 2, which is 100%. Add them together, 142%. So that's how that works. So it's really important to know all this. And why is it really important to know all this? Because it's going to determine actually how high you put your staff skill up. Now you can see chance of success is 99%. It's a very difficult illness. 70% is a difficult illness. And my staff skill is not 100%. Yet we're still at 99%. And that's because our diagnosis certainty is 100%, so there's no cap. And our upgrades are so high. And, you know, our staff skill is pretty good too, to be honest. So, staff skill, how does it work? So, it is this 80%. It's exactly what you'll see in the stats screen of your staff member. At the moment it's 70%, but God, why does that happen like that? It should be 80%. Let me find, well that's embarrassing now. Why is this? Oh, it's because you're happy. 8%. It should be exactly here. Let's just see what happens. Let me just pick this guy up a sec. Oh, I've already got him. Come on, cure this person, cure this person. What's this person got? Alright, 70%. Maybe there's a different staff member that I just dropped in. I can't remember. So you can see this is staff skill 70%, which makes more sense. Makes more sense, because it's exactly what the skill should be here. Oh, this game just trying to trick me up each time. Not killed anyone in 8 years. Only cured 37 patients though, but good on you. So you can see 70%. And essentially, this is made up of a number of things. Every star you see equates to an extra 10%. So even if I take one of my researchers, they have no treatment skills, but they have 4 stars. Therefore, they're going to be at least a 40% treatment. Now, I'll explain why they're 50% in a second, but they're at least going to be 40%. And again, we're going to take this GP, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 5 stars. So they're at least going to be 50%. I think they should be 60. Yeah, there we go, 60%. So that's step 1, which makes up our treatment skill. Step 2 is obviously the qualifications that they've got. So in this case, we've got 20% in pharmacy and 10% in treatment. So that's your 30, 40, 50, 60. So that gets us to 60 of the 70%. And you'll be able to see the exact same thing. Say if I go here, we've got 3 stars, 3 treatment qualifications, so it should be at least 60%. And we're at 70. So we're bang on there. Over here, we have a level 2 doctor, so 10, 20, 30, 40. So we're at least 40%, and here we're at 50. And I will explain to you why we're all off by 10%. Those eagle-eyed people will have realised, oh, Harry, they're all off by 10%. And that is because you get a buff. You get a buff for a number of things. You can get a buff for having a absolutely fantastic room. So when you get an amazing room, which is what the room prestige level is. So when you get a 50%, when you get a level 5 prestige room, then you're going to boost your treatment percentage up. Absolutely fantastic, and it's really important to know that. It's exactly why you should always make sure you've got a level 5 room. Also, you'll get a booster from staff happiness. So if I find this one, happy, you've got 10, 20, 30, 40, we got a 50 here. So we're getting a boost from the room, but also when the patient comes in, we're going to get a boost on happiness as well. If you've got over 80% happiness, unlike this one, so 10, 20, 30, 40, you can see we're actually at 30 because they're getting a negative. They're getting a negative because they're so unhappy. And you can see that mood. You can see that over here. So you can see their happiness is so low. And when your happiness dips below a certain amount, then their treatment skill goes down as a result. Oh, thank you for that publicity update. So if we go back to our debugger over here, so we got a happy staff member. You can see we're at 70%. We're getting a boost from the room. We're getting a boost from being so happy. If we look at this staff member, you can see we're 70% here. Everyone's happy. We got a 99% chance. We got 100% upgrades from our machine, and there you go. We had a really good chance of curing it, and in the end, it wasn't an 84 to 99. It was actually a 99 because we had a level 5 procedure room, so it boosted it up a bit. Ooh, you're rage quitting. So, that is what makes up, let's just get rid of those. That is what makes up, essentially, the percentages for each one of these. So you can see your staff skill, again, 80%. You got 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. And we're getting 80% because they're really happy. Really happy. So, what does that mean in terms of staff? How should we train them? And now that I've kind of covered the basics, I'm going to quickly rattle through how I think you should train your staff. And again, this is just a personal preference. You guys do what you want. But this works for me, so that's why I recommend it. So for treatment staff, for treatment doctors, what I'd recommend is getting them to at least level 3. And that means you're going to get 10, 20, 30, plus another 30 from level 3. That's going to give you 60%. And you're going to do really well with that 60%. Now, when you get them to the next level, to level 4, you've got an opportunity to get an extra 20%. You're already going to have an extra 10% to bring it to 70, but you could get that to 80. And this is where a bit of personal preference comes in. You can either train your treatment doctors and treatment nurses to level 4 treatment, get that up to 80%, and on the fifth treatment skill, because they'll automatically be at 90, because they'll be getting that extra level, you can choose what you want to do. Do you want to increase their stamina training? Or do you want to do stamina training? Do you want to do motivation? Do you want to do emotional intelligence? Do you want to do, what is it? Treatment? No, treatment. Teaching. What's the other one? Motivation, bedside manner, emotional intelligence, stamina training, and teaching masterclass. So you can fit in one of these. Now, my personal preference is emotional intelligence. And the reason is behind this is because it helps boost up that extra 10% happiness, and that will help you hit that threshold of 80% happiness in order to get that boost on your treatment skill. Now, the reason why I picked this over stamina training is that, yes, although stamina training is great, it doesn't actually result in that many extra days worked. It probably results in about an extra 15 days worked. per kind of break, which isn't that much. Bedside manner is another great one to do. It's going to help increase the happiness of patients, which then in turn is going to increase the likelihood of them paying the sky-high prices that we charge for treatment. You've got motivation here. Great, it increases speed. Also, when your staff are happy, that increases speed. But personally, I don't use it, because what I do instead is I have energy drink machines, because that boosts the speed anyway. You can see energized. That's going to boost their speed 110%. That gives you the extra boost. So if you have these drinks machines out, every time they take a drink, they're going to be doing what the motivation training does. So for me, it feels like a bit of a wasted slot. And then finally, training masterclass. You can put it in. I personally don't, but you can if you wanted to train lots of staff really quickly. Maybe at start of the game, you've managed to get a 3-star treatment staff already, so you just want to get one to train up loads and loads. Then yeah, sure, put in training masterclass. But personally, for me, it is 4 treatments and 1 emotional intelligence, or 1 bedside manner. It's going to be one of those 2. You could do a 3 and bedside manner and emotional intelligence, and that's completely fine. That is up to you. You will have already a 60% treatment skill, which is going to be pretty good. All right, you're already going to be at 60% here. You'll get a booster, 70% because of your happiness. And if we have a look at, we got one out here. If you have a look at a patient, I mean, look, you can already see at 70%, they've got a real high chance of being cured, even with upgrades, with high diagnosis, and with illness difficulty at around 50%. You can see we're doing pretty good on that. You can see another cure here. Let's just pause, have a look at what theirs was. 99% again, their staff skill at 70%. So there's absolutely no harm in having a 3-star and then having the other 2 what you want. You're still going to get those really high cure rates. So personal preference. It doesn't matter either way. Then you have your DNA doctors. Now, I personally, I'm saying the word personally a lot, but what I do in my games is I turn the diagnosis off here, and I have this as a treatment only room. What it allows me to do is it allows me to specialize these staff a bit more. And for DNA doctors, if they're taking care of treatment only, I usually have this to level 3 treatment, and then either emotional intelligence or bedside manner. Either way is going to be fine, because you're going to get your 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 already %, an extra for the happiness, a boost. You're already going to be at your 70% mark, so you're going to be more than high enough. Researchers, really simple, level 5 research, done. It's going to be faster, it's going to make more money in the long term, although they'll be doing research so quickly that you will have to continually sort this out. Because I mean, like, this is going pretty quick, right? I've got 3 researchers in there. You can see they're at varying, well, they're both at 2 there, and we've got a 5, so you can see it's going pretty quick. So that's going to be an annoying thing, is that if you want to make this efficient, you're going to be continually going back to the research room and just going, yes, let's do another research. Surgeons, I have usually level 4 surgery. That is going to put you at the max chance of curing with staff skill. So you can see I've got 3 at the moment. Can I click on this patient? So you can see 3. My staff skill's at 50%. So because what we've got a 20, we've got a 40. Yeah. If I click on you, oh, you're tired. So you're getting a negative from the tired. All right, okay. Oh, you're really not happy either. But yeah, what I recommend for the surgery is having at least level 4 in surgery, and then I actually tag on stamina training. And the reason why I tag on stamina training specifically for the surgeons is because it takes them so long to get changed and in and out the room. I want them to get changed and go in and out the room as little as possible. So I definitely recommend doing a 4 and a 1 in stamina training here. Now, for the psychiatry. Psychiatry, it's going to depend whether they are doing treatment and diagnosis or they're doing treatment. Now, personally, I have them doing treatment and diagnosis. I really need to get more diagnosis, more psychiatry here, but I do them doing both diagnosis and treatment. And if you're doing that, I recommend having level 5 psychiatry, because what you'll notice is that even if, so you can see here stats, even if you get 175% diagnosis skill, and here we've got 190%. When you're diagnosing people, so this one's just been diagnosed by William Volcano, this is William Volcano, 175%, you can see that they only get 63% here. And that's just because illness difficulty plays a massive part in it. So they've got all these upgrades, they've got, you've got this diagnosis skill so high. So you really want to, with your GPs, with your psychiatrists, you want to get them on 5. If they're diagnosing, you want them on 5. Maybe if you want to do a 4 on a stamina training, fine, but I personally wouldn't. I would go 5 on the GPs, 5 on the psychiatry straight away. If they're diagnosing someone, get them on 5s. If they're just treating, so if the psychiatry is just treating, then you can afford to have them just at 4. And you can do your emotional intelligence or your bedside manner. And that is going to be perfect. Nurses, let's move on to nurses. We'll do them all in one video, why not? Nurses, really straightforward. Again, it's the same with the treatment, what I said with the doctors. You want to be getting to level 3 or level 4, depending on your preference, and then doing emotional intelligence or emotional intelligence or bedside manner. There we go. Now, for the injection room and the pharmacy, I personally get these trained specifically in injection room and a pharmacy, and you don't have to do that. You could just have one big pool of treatment nurses and they can go in every single room. I have them trained in their specific rooms purely because I want to get that extra boost early on. It really helps at the start of the game, so that extra 10% can really help with your cure rates. So that's why I have them at pharmacy management. It does result in me having probably a bit more staff than you would have if you just had one giant treatment pool, but I'm okay with that. So if you're having injection room nurses, so you can see 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and an extra 10% for happiness, so that's going to be around 80. So if I went to them, there are 70 at the moment because they're not in the room, but we'll take this one for a better example. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and the happy 70. Perfect. Perfect. Works. So what I'd recommend is maybe having another 1 or 2 treatment trainings, exactly like with the normal treatment nurses, and putting the other one with emotional intelligence or bedside manner, whichever one you prefer. Now with the wards, so the ward is an interesting one because it's a mix between diagnosis and treatment. So what I would have is I would have them at level 5 ward management. It's probably the best. If they're just taking care of treatment only, you don't have to have it as high. You could say do 3 or 4 ward management and have a stamina training. But I definitely recommend having them at level 5 or level 4 with a stamina training, emotional intelligence, bedside manner. You know the drill by now. Alright, assistants, really straightforward, really easy. Level 5 in customer service or level 5 in marketing. That's it. You don't need to worry about anything else. Really straightforward. You can mess around with it a bit. I'm not as fussy with my assistants. I don't try and get them specialised as much, but if you're going for perfect, that's what you should do. And then we move on to janitors, ignoring the robot janitors that I've got here. So janitors. I have 3 types of janitors. You can only have 2 types of janitors though. I have 3 just just because I do. Basically, just because I do. But essentially, what I have, the three I have is I have a mechanic who's going to do all the upgrades on my machines. I usually have one per hospital, and I'll get them all the way up to level 5 mechanics. I then have maintenance, and they're purely just going to be there to repair machines and put out fires. I again have these up to level 4 maintenance, and then add in an extra thing if I want emotional intelligence, if I want stamina training, either or you can bring it up to level 5 maintenance. It doesn't really matter. They're going to be so good at repairing by the time they get to level 4 that you're going to be happy. I mean, like, look at that. They're already at maintenance skill of 220%, and they're at a level 2. So imagine what's going to happen when they get even higher. And then I have cleaning janitors. And although they do also have a good maintenance skill, because you already start out with a base level, right? I have these as cleaning janitors, and what they do is they capture ghosts. They have the motivation, they have stamina training, they have emotional intelligence, and they have teaching masterclass. They're usually what I go for my cleaning janitors. Now you could combine a maintenance and a cleaning janitor together. You definitely could do that. And if you were going to do that, I would recommend having 3 on maintenance, 1 in ghost capture, and maybe 1 in motivation, just to get them moving around quicker. But the reason why I don't do it is because you'll want to train the ghost capture first. Sorry, I'm just reading the description of ghost capture. This is to help the research and allows us to reunite patients with their loved ones in a little jar. Yeah, so the reason why I don't combine these two together, the maintenance, the machine repairers and the cleaners, is because the first thing you should train is ghost capture. And what that's going to do is just going to slow down the time you start building up your maintenance skills, which is going to mean it's going to be slower to repair machines, which at the start is a big pain. So there you have it. That is my quick guide as to why I train my staff the way I train it. Now I hope you found that really useful. I definitely do each and every time when I play. I make sure I follow those rules, and it really helps me out. Helps me get really high cure rates, which is what this can all be about. I mean, you don't have to get high cure rates. You're still going to rake in a lot of cash because they pay anyway. But surely you want to cure as many people as possible. So yeah, if you've got any questions, do hit me up in the comment section or message me on Discord. More than happy to help. But do make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be putting out 2 Point Campus material when it eventually launches in May. Cannot wait. Or if you're watching this in the future and it's already out, go ahead and check out the playlist. But yeah, do subscribe to the channel. Keep liking the videos. And yeah, if you've got any questions, please, please, please hit me up in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next episode. Bye for now.